Welcome to the Full Charge Power Hour. It's time. It's time to get started. We got a special guest, Brian McDaniel.
Yeah.
What's up?
Hey.
He's in the house.
Brian.
I ain't seen you in a minute.
Yeah, it has
Probably
been
a couple years.
I think so.
At least.
And I'm glad you're here because I wanted to know, because I know you like to go see the Dodgers.
Yes.
For some reason, in my head, it's so much to go and like parking is what I'm trying to say.
Okay, the whole experience is a giant pain in the ass is what you're trying to say.
I'm trying to wonder how to get around the parking lot at Dodger Stadium. If there's somewhere I can park and walk in, that's easy. Also, but like, is it appropriate to do on the podcast because then are too many people?
Are we gonna spoil it?
Oh, you know, I just remember we don't have that many listeners. Fucking tell me some secrets.
I don't know if it's secrets, but the key is really, so you can't come off the 110. If you come in off the 110, you're fucked. Okay, and also do not get off at Stadium Way under any circumstances. Gotcha. Okay, because most of the time, and Sunset also pretty bad. Okay. So the main avenues for getting in. No, you want to get on Riverside.
Oh.
Like by the Elysian.
Yes.
And then you're cruising along Riverside, and then you take a right onto like Academy. You can get off on Academy from the 5, but it's better. It's better Riverside to Academy.
Because Academy is kind of a back way and spits you down right by the gate. Almost.
Yes, it spits you down right by the gate. It's still not great.
Sure.
But it's vastly superior to any of those other alternatives.
And can you avoid the parking lot that way? Can you like park on Academy and just walk your ass up?
You can if you're early enough. You can dip down. There's that little park on the right, like there's like a big old Elysian park. Yeah, you can park there.
But then the hill, right? You got to walk up.
You got to walk up the hill. Pretty much, no matter where you park. If you park outside the stadium, there's a hill. So yeah.
See, because I got it when I lived in New York. I got in to go and see the Mets.
Yeah.
Which is a piece of cake.
Right.
You take the train right there.
Yeah.
Right there, and you just it's crowded.
You want to hear
but there's no parking, there's no cars, there's no nothing.
Okay, the dumbest thing I ever did to get into Dodger Stadium.
Yes, I do want to know that. I'll title the episode that.
So, my buddy's wife works in marketing, so he got tickets to the All-Star game, free tickets to the All-Star game when I was here a couple years ago, and I was like, even for me, I know this is going to be a disaster. I've been to World Series games at Dodger Stadiums. I was like, this is going to be worse.
And so, like, you're talking to guys that barely watch sports.
Right.
All-Stars is kind of like the Pro Bowl.
It's kind of like the Pro Bowl.
Yeah,
it's super dumb, but it's also just crazy packed because people, like, fly in. The Home Run Derby is actually the best part of All-Star Week.
Okay.
But the game is, it's every single star from every single team. The game is not that interesting, but it's always packed, right? Like the stadiums are always, it's a huge event. People don't know anything about baseball. Like, I'm going to the All-Star game.
Right.
So
it's like going to church on Easter Sunday.
Yeah, exactly. So I was like, I am going to ride my electric bike to Dodger Stadium.
Oh,
okay. I'm in on this story.
So,
wow.
So
how far away do you live?
I live
like 5-10 miles, right?
Yeah.
Are you downtown?
No, I live in Eagle Rock.
Oh, okay.
Not far from Dodger Stadium.
Not that far from Dodger Stadium, right? So I cruise into like Silver Lake kind of, and I go the back way, Riverside.
I would also say not close.
Not close, but it's an e-bike.
But it is an e-bike.
It is an e-bike. Yeah. So I'm not like humping it the whole time.
Right. It's like a moped.
yeah, exactly.
That's fair.
Exactly. So and the other thing was I found out because we had tickets to the Home Run Derby right away. He flew into town because he had free tickets to the Home Run Derby, and then the All-Star game was a toss-up, and so I didn't find out until pretty late, and I was like, even worse for parking right now. So I was like, I got to do the bike.
Yeah.
It's fucking insane. Yeah. But I'm going for it.
I love it. You look around and you're like, I'm taking the bike.
I love that moment when you know you're about to do something stupid, but you're like, but it's still the smartest angle.
Yeah.
Stupid is the smartest I can get on this one.
There's no other choice.
It's the best bad option.
Yeah.
So getting in was actually not that bad because so many people, the traffic is so bad that I'm just whizzing by.
Sure.
Just
you're like,
cruising
peace
by
out,
them.
fools.
Yeah. So I get in. The only parking for bicycles is in the top deck. And you've been to Dodger Stadium, like getting to the top deck is going up like fucking a million stairs.
Yeah, right.
And I got this heavy ass.
Oh, God
damn.
Stupid
bike.
Fighting my way upstairs. So whatever. I park, I get in. Going home was the true insanity because it's fucking dark.
Right.
Everyone's drunk.
Yeah.
No one else is on a bicycle. You're the only, and they are fucking pissed that you're on a bicycle.
They hate you.
They hate you.
Tree hugging freak.
Yeah, exactly. And you get to the part on Academy and Riverside where it starts to open up, and everybody in their giant trucks is like, "Time to fucking floor it!" And you're like, "No, not yet."
Yeah, it's
wait a second.
It's like World War Z at that point. Dude.
You just feel like you're gonna die.
Oh, you feel like you're gonna die.
Like 3 or 4 times, you're like, "This is it.
Yeah,
this is how I go."
Yeah, because
you start visualizing your obituary and how everyone's gonna remember you, no matter what you did. You died on a bike at Dodger Stadium.
And there's at least 10 of those guys that are like, I want to kill him.
Yeah.
Right. Oh yeah. People, they're not gonna feel so bad for you.
Right.
No.
Yeah.
Death Race 2000 over here.
Maybe not even some witnesses. Like I didn't see it. I didn't see it.
No. They're like, clear them out. We're getting out of here. Get them on the grass. Yeah.
And then what if you even like ended up, if it was news, like local news, and it even ended up on TMZ?
Yeah.
And then all your old coworkers be fucking ragging on you.
Just roasting me. That dumb motherfucker loved his bicycle so much.
Right? Who's in shape now, Brian?
I've been reading about you.
Okay.
On your IMDb.
All right.
You grew up in Orange County, where Craig lives.
I was born in Orange County.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
All right. Which part?
I was born in Orange.
In the city of Orange.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah. And then where'd you move?
Moved to Maryland.
Oh, right. Yeah.
Moved to Maryland when I was little. Yeah.
There's a jump.
Yeah.
Where in Maryland?
Bowie.
Oh, that's right, dude. We're not that far from each other.
No.
Every time I go to Baltimore, I go through Bowie.
Yeah.
Okay.
And outsiders call it Bowie, by the way. It's spelled like David Bowie.
Yeah, that's how you know.
But the locals call it Bowie.
Bowie, yeah.
Because they're all, that's how you say it.
Well, it's named after a governor who was Bowie.
Uh-huh.
Right. But
and so
everybody's like, but not as cool as Bowie.
No, definitely not.
Definitely not.
And so that's PG County, right?
That's PG County.
Prince George's County, for those that don't know.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
And for those who really don't know, is like, you and I are some of the few people that know what go-go music is.
Yeah.
You don't know what go-go music is,
I want to say I don't know what go-go
music is. It's even been featured in that Dave Grohl HBO documentary,
Oh, is it
Sonic
like that
Highways?
where they dance with their thumbs out and shit?
No. It's heavily... Help me describe this. It's like heavily percussive it's jam music.
Yeah, it's like a backyard drum-centered...
Like hippie style?
No. So the most mainstream example I can think of is the cover version of Lean On Me. Do you ever hear that? It's like, there's a lot of like, come. So there's a regular drum kit, right? But then there's like 2 or 3 other percussionists.
I'm going to be honest, it sounds like something I would not be into.
You'd be into it. It's awesome because they jam.
Are so fun.
They jam. Yeah. They jam out. It's like what they would call urban music, if that helps you visualize
it's
it.
usually mostly black people, but they're always very
that's different.
White people.
I'm trying to help you enjoy it.
Okay, yeah.
This is not white people.
That makes it sound way better. That's why I was all, is it hippie stuff? I was thinking like, hey, man.
So then you maybe have a bass and maybe have a keyboard. Usually no guitar. But like they jam out for a while and then they'll throw in... There's like call and response, and then they also will like weave into cover songs.
Yeah.
So like whatever like the cool modern cover song is, there's a somewhat famous band that the Beastie Boys used to jam live called Pork and Beans.
Okay.
Sardines, hey, and pork and beans, boons. So that's like one of the most concrete songs I can think of.
Yeah. So this is that is a genre of music that's in your guys'
Washington,
area.
D.C. and Washington, D.C. adjacent.
Copy that.
It's not even that Baltimore. It's in Baltimore, but it's not that Baltimore.
Got it. All right.
And yeah, it's just something that there's two main bands when I was a kid, like only 2 bands that anyone cared about, which were Junkyard and Rare Essence.
Yeah.
Okay.
Like they dominated the scene and probably shared members and everything. You know, when I was in my hip hop band in the 90s, which thank God there's no internet coverage of this. We did have a website which was very advanced for our time.
Sure.
But we used to do shows with a lesser known go-go band called Unified Funk.
All right.
And so we were like somewhat like in the scene, like not in the scene, but like we hung with and jammed with a go-go
Unified
band,
Funk.
and we were very proud of this.
Hell yeah.
Nice.
We were very proud of this.
Yeah,
you know?
yeah. That's the little accomplishments.
Yeah. So then you go to USC Film School.
Yeah, then I went to USC.
Back to the West Coast.
Back to the West Coast. Yep.
And what year was that, if you don't mind me asking?
97.
Right. So
I was
you're
17 years old. Come back to the West
wow.
Coast.
That's right when I moved to LA.
That's when we moved back to LA.
Yeah, 97. No kidding.
Yeah.
So, and that was at a time where like film and film school was it was just the scene.
Yeah, it was the shit.
When I first moved to LA, I worked at the Sunset 5 movie theater, which was an independent movie theater, and every single person selling popcorn, including myself, went to film school. And all we did was talk film school and bring our tapes in and show each other our films that we made, which you had to shoot on film back then, or you just wasn't considered anything.
Yeah, no, they're like video, like digital. It's all
VHS was pretty trash. Yeah.
It was like hard to be in the game and easy to be in the game, because like it was hard to shoot film. You got to take all the exposures and do all this stuff. And it's expensive, and you got to get it to the lab, and you don't have much of it. You don't have much film. It's not endless video.
You can't do take after take.
But it was kind of easy, because if you could do that, you were officially in the game, and you could get into film festivals and meet people. And what was that like in 97?
I mean, it was great. And I think what you're talking about, like because every frame you shot was expensive, right? And you were kids. So I feel like that is actually good training for all writing, all narrative forms. Like the fact that you can shoot all day long has done nobody favors.
Totally.
Like, you know, people just we'll just shoot it again.
Yeah.
No, like figure out what you actually want to say, what you actually want to shoot, and having that be expensive was just the best way to force you to do that.
Right.
And
trust me,
that was very cool.
Having worked on set, it'd be nice if it was back on film.
Right.
Because they're just like, you're like, God damn, are we still filming? It's a bottle. They're just doing a fucking filming the product. Like, really? For 2 hours? Like,
and like you had to rehearse it. The actors had to rehearse it. The actors had to know their lines.
Right.
Yeah. The camera operators, they knew they had to know what was going on going in. And I miss those. And I also think the fact that we have endless video has led to just like mediocre content.
Yes.
Without a doubt.
And obviously the fact that we can watch stuff on our phone has led to it as well. But just the idea that like entertainment is a celebrity sitting at their pool, like talking about what they're eating or whatever. This is now our art.
Right.
And it kind of sucks.
Yeah. It totally sucks. It totally sucks.
Because it's so boring. You just flip around and flip through it and everything.
Yeah.
Even the way we watch television is like you sit there and look at your options more than you watch anything, and you give up on movies within 5 minutes. Like if you went to the video store and rented something, you were watching that goddamn thing.
Yeah.
You might have shit on it straight for an hour and a half out loud, but you would watch the whole thing.
Right.
Yeah.
You know, and I've been going to the movies lately, and it's so great because I turn my phone off. You're in the world.
Yeah.
You know, like I saw this movie Longlegs recently.
It's a scary movie. It's like a spider movie or something?
It's very scary. It's not a spider movie. It's actually like a very satanic movie.
Oh, okay.
And there's like possession.
Okay.
But what really gets you, which like just wouldn't get you on your phone or even at home on your big screen TV, is just kind of like the way they manipulate the sound and the visuals that like really creep you out at some moment.
Sure.
This is a testament to the movie. My wife was actually scared walking out, to the point where like she was scared she was gonna get possessed or something. Like she grew up like so hard Catholic that she can't shake it.
Dude. Yeah.
Tap back into that shit.
I grew up just enough Catholic to be like I was scared of it for like way too long. Like probably till I was like 20, and then I kind of get out of it. And now when something scares me, it like makes me laugh a little bit.
Yeah.
Or like if I see a pentagram on a building, I kind of laugh a little bit because I have it happens quickly. I go, oh man. I remember I used to be like really scared of that to the point where I couldn't sleep, and now I'm not, and I just kind of laugh. But she's not out of it yet. Right. She will never be out of it, and so she gets like really scared. She gets mad at me for not being scared practically.
That's funny. Me and my friend, we both were like did not grow up at church at all. But we're in Bakersfield. It's a very conservative town.
Right.
And one of our friends, he was just driving by. He'd never been to my house, and he stopped to hang out with us. This guy's a pussy hound. This guy would fucking fight people at the drop of a hat. But what we didn't know is that his parents were like, through high school, go be normal. But after high school, like, he became a priest.
Okay.
So we had no idea.
Right.
This is wild ass, our buddy Matt, wild ass dude.
Yeah.
But now we're out of high school. He's got his shit together and he's back on the straight path. So he walks into my room. There's like Slayer posters all over the place, and just he fucking goes, whoa, dude. He goes, aren't you afraid of the tribulation?
Yeah.
Wow. And hell?
Right.
Yeah. And me and my friend Ronnie, we just, hell? We're like, what are you talking about, dude? Like, no. We do a lot of acid. We're cool.
This guy, I remember I did the open mics with, like in the Valley in the late 90s.
Mm-hmm.
Did the open mics, got arrested for weed, unfortunately. I mean, how sad is that in 2024?
Man, no doubt.
Went to jail or prison.
Sure.
Came back religious.
Oof.
Came back to the open mics religious.
Oh,
like, can you imagine? Man. Like, you get out and you have to go back to the fucking open mics.
Right.
It's not like he should have got his comedy degree in prison or something.
And wants to deliver the Lord's message.
That's the thing. I went up there and I did like my devil horns, or maybe even like more than that, as a joke,
right?
As a throwaway,
right?
And he went up after me and he was like, dude, you're gonna go to hell for that. Like, no joke to go with it. Just like that was his opener. You're gonna go to hell for that.
You're like, hey, you're not in prison anymore, dude.
I was like, the open mics were actually what helped me get out of a lot of my hangups.
For sure.
And like saying things like that, not being scared to say things like that. And he was just like,
no,
you have not escaped.
Yeah.
Yeah,
that's too good.
So did you make any short films? Like, what did
Yeah, I made some short films. They were, I mean, you look back on them and you're like, oh God.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because at my film school, what happened is we all wanted to make feature films. And they were like, we want you to make art films.
Right.
Which, if they just would, I think I was saying this last week, if they just would have pitched it as, this is how they do it on MTV, we'd have been all on board. And that was actually a way to become a director back then.
Right.
Like David Fincher, you make some music videos, you could graduate to feature films.
Sure.
But they were just like, they just pitched it as art. And we just made like feature films instead. But it really affected my editing. Like, they were like, how about this is like a really long form of you just picking up change. So there's a scene where I'm just picking up change for like 37 seconds. You know what I mean? Based on their advice.
Yeah, I've seen enough of those damn movies.
Yeah. So
I mean, SC was definitely like very narrative driven, I would say. They weren't like trying to get, they weren't so heavy on what they wanted you to do.
Yeah.
They definitely didn't push art films. My films were probably a little more artsy than some, but not. Yeah. I mean, there were always, everybody had a suicide short film.
Yeah, because the project's due in 2 days. And you're like all depressed.
I'm going to take my life. Seriously, though.
And you're like, here's 8 minutes about a guy who's sad who ends up in the bathtub.
You know what? It's true.
So many of
my
those
friend
movies.
did one of those.
Many of those.
And I fell for one that they told me not to do, but I still fell for it. And I'm sure you saw this one too. It was like, I can't figure out what I'm going to do. So I'm going to do 30 seconds of every genre. Horror, love story, action. That's not like everybody does that one.
Excellent.
I fell for that one time, but luckily it was funny enough. There was even a porn scene with the classic like wah wah pedal.
Excellent.
Nice.
Of course.
And then the I didn't do this one. I did do the suicide. I did one of my short films was a suicide one. I must admit.
You gotta have one. You gotta do one.
I did one.
Me and Randy did one. We did one like even after we graduated. We did a suicide. I think it's on the internet. Don't watch it. Gotta get that taken down.
The other thing everyone fucking did was, alarm goes off, this is how the day starts, fucking sequence. Yeah. Everybody is like,
Excellent.
Yeah.
It's fucking boring.
Like third act of Goodfellas, but like without the drugs or whatever.
Yeah. Or the Rolling Stones.
Or the good times.
Holy shit, man. You go back, I mean, I love Goodfellas, but you go back and watch Scorsese movies, and the fucking Rolling Stones does a lot.
It does a lot.
Helps.
The only part where it gets like completely ridiculous is when he starts to use the same songs in different movies.
Yeah.
That's true.
You're like, dude, this is a reference to your other movie with the same actors in it,
Right.
And the same fucking fan in, but it's so good you don't even care,
Right?
Because his movie's so good and the Stones are so good. You're like, all right, give it to me now.
I'll take it again. Yeah.
That's why when you go to watch like Killers of the Flower Moon, did they even have it in that? They might have even had it in that.
like there was.
He goes
Gotta be
crazy with
great.
this shit.
I was Shelter. Like, oh, this is weird.
Yeah, all right, let's put the live version in.
Yeah.
You know, fuck it. You know.
There's no singing in this one. How about that?
And what did? I think you became an editor, right?
Yes, I became an editor.
Did you cut on film like your boy Matt Fulcheron?
I mean, in film school, I cut on film. In internships, I cut on film.
Yeah.
But by the time I was making money, film was gone.
Yeah, right. So I edit just these clips. That's what I mostly edit, and it's so funny to me that I can just drag it back and forth.
Right.
Instead of we used to cut and put tape on it, and you watch it, you'd be like, "That's not right." Then you'd have to take the fucking film off.
The part that you cut, put it back,
to retape it, and like fucking take like a pencil, a chalk pencil or whatever, and like it was grueling, dude.
God,
it took forever, man.
Yeah, that does sound awful.
And you even had to sync up the sound, like the sound wasn't synced up.
Right.
You had to shoot on the right camera to get like actually.
to
Timed
sync
out
it at
the
same
speech
time?
with the and so you're constantly like, is that on sync? Is that on sync? You're like losing your mind all night, dude.
Dude,
Yeah.
I can't even imagine having to do all that.
Right.
And the feature editors on film, were you ever in a feature edit bay?
No.
on film? Oh my god, they had like laundry bins of this fucking film.
Oh yeah.
Hanging over these bars, just and then they're looking for another shot. And they're like, no,
like this, like look at it.
Oh my god.
Or there'd be like a little visual thing where you could put it in and like rock it back and forth, and you could see what it was.
Get a piece of it. Yeah.
Yeah, but it was wild, dude. And so next thing you know, you're taping together like 3 things. You're like, where was that? And you're putting in like black header just to substitute frames. It was crazy, dude.
My God.
What kids do in 15 minutes now would take all day.
Oh, for sure.
You know?
Yeah.
Oh, for sure.
And then what? Did you immediately get a job as an editor at TMZ?
No, I did a bunch of bullshit editing jobs. I did, it was fun. I was young and it was good money.
Yeah.
So we both worked in dubbing before. I worked.
Oh, that's right.
I worked for SDI.
Right.
Which was like a subtitle house, and basically I was just like digitizing, and so you learn all the formats for everything, right?
Yeah.
Like how everything.
It's
goes into a
amazing
system.
how many different video formats there were back then.
Yeah.
Oh, sure.
I'll try to list some. I'll start with crazy obscure. You had like 1-inch, 3/4 inch, VHS, SVHS, Beta Max.
Oof.
Fuck, I'm dropping off.
Well, I mean, yeah, and then those 3/4 inch ones, but they were like this fucking wide.
What?
They were like a pizza.
They were like this much better than a VHS, but like
And
people
it was
liked
film?
them for
Or no, it was. Just...
it was transferred to video.
Yeah.
It was film transferred to video.
Yeah.
Got you.
You know, and
How did you play that? What was the player?
well, no, that just went straight to television. So
It did.
the television studios would use it, right?
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah.
Oh
Yeah,
my
so like the
God.
tape you're holding in your hand goes to like CBS or whatever.
Sure.
They fucking plug it into their system and somehow just went around the world.
Yeah.
The television part I don't understand.
Right.
You know,
So-
Okay, you go, they
The
put it in
beaming all
thing,
over the world?
It goes
Right.
to the world. That's
seems crazier than because this is like linked to. This seems like makes
Yeah.
more sense than the television beaming into the fucking air.
right. Me and my
know?
daughter were watching Death Race 2000 recently.
Oh, that's a good one.
such a good movie.
I haven't seen it.
So, it's bad good.
Yeah, okay.
David Carradine's in it.
Nice.
Stallone.
Yeah, Stallone's in it.
Stallone's in it. Some
Basically,
of the worst acting.
You gotta love any movie that takes place in a year that's already. It's the future
way
when they made it,
past.
but
Yeah.
we're way past.
Yeah.
So I watched it maybe a couple years before 2000.
Oh, okay.
I watched it in '97, but it was
Yeah.
still like this is not happening in 3 years.
Yeah, right.
It's the future, but it's low budget. So like you're in New York City, and the background is like clearly a painting.
yes.
But New York City is even crazier with like roller coasters. It looks like the Vegas, New York.
it does.
Quite honestly.
Yeah, it does.
But there's these guys that race across the country. It's like Cannonball Run, but you get points. And you've heard this joke before. It's probably from the movie. Maybe it's just you get points for hitting people. And different types of people are worth more different points.
Yeah.
Are senior citizens worth more or less?
Senior citizens are worth like 80 points.
And is that a lot?
That's a lot. But the ones that are worth the most are toddlers and babies. They're like 100 points.
This sounds like a J.D. Vance fever dream.
Yeah.
The Democrats are trying to ruin our future.
And so, like, my kid, we're watching it, and there's these people having a picnic, and my daughter goes, "Oh!" She goes, "A whole family." And then they all run away, and she's all, "The baby! Get that baby!" And I'm like, who did I raise? But you're right.
But then
like, you are right.
They all race, but then they meet. Like they have the same resting points, so they all like lodge together, and get in like little tiffs and fights.
It's to get
Sylvester Stallone hits a woman right in the face.
Smacks her in the
terrible.
Face. Yeah, it is
level.
In front of everybody.
Yeah.
Everybody going, "Oh, let's act like that didn't happen."
Yeah.
And they're all getting nude massages. Like the press is there interviewing them.
Right.
They're all just buck naked.
It's a good fucking movie.
Yeah, that sounds fun.
It's a good fucking movie, dude.
It's pretty ridiculous.
So you showed it to your daughter.
Oh, we watch horror movies is our thing. To laugh.
All right.
And like Ghoulies is one of our favorites of all time.
Ghoulies.
It's like the worst acting ever.
Do you watch the one where the Ghoulies go to college?
So that's the one she absolutely wants to watch next. She goes, "Dude," she comes running in one day. She's like, "Ghoulies go to college." What? How are we not watching this? Yeah.
So the Ghoulies are bad guys, right?
Yeah, the Ghoulies
so
are
they're gonna go sit in algebra too?
Yeah.
And like go like unnoticed and then like kill people in the lunchroom?
Yeah, they're like in a frat house.
All right, we gotta watch some of these movies.
So they're all conjured up by evil.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Right.
And so I think one of the characters from the first movie goes to college. And they like follow him.
Okay.
Our favorite is Chucky. Is probably actually our favorite.
I've never seen any of those. Believe me.
Oh my god! Dude.
I should have a Child's Play marathon.
Child's Play is so
pretty wild.
Fucking funny. To make my kid laugh, all I have to do is she could be in the other room. I'm just like, "You fucking bitch," and she just goes, "Ah!" Because it's
one of the lines.
I actually kind of do Chucky.
See, I don't know the lines.
Yeah, it's one of the lines. He's like, "Oh, you fucking bitch," and he goes after her, and she just laughs every time.
Is that how Chucky talks? Like,
he does. Bitch. Yeah, because he's this.
I know who he is. Like it was so. Like back in the day, even if you didn't see a movie, you were very aware of it.
Yeah.
Because it was like constantly referenced and stuff. And there was so many sequels to where like he's banging Jennifer Tilly and everything.
Yes, dude,
it's wild.
Yeah, and then there's Child of Chucky.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's too much. And now they got a TV show. Mm-hmm. But I'm like, we're not getting Shudder.
Right.
So I'm sorry.
You just keep watching the movies.
We're not going to see the TV show.
So like your editing grabs you work at TMZ?
So I do want to mention one show that I edited on. When I auditioned for TMZ, I had to try out as an editor, which is
really
very strange, right? Typically, you send them a reel, they look at your resume, cool, you're hired, right? But at TMZ, they were starting, and they would bring you in, and they were trying out producers too. So producers would bring in these fucking ridiculous scripts, right? Because they didn't know what TMZ, the TV show, was. They had just worked in some sort of entertainment news at some point.
Yeah.
And they're bringing you in this goofy shit that makes no sense. Based off of a story. There's no video assets for it. They're like, why don't you build this whole package with graphics? And like you had to turn it around same day every single time. And so, man, and then at the end of the day, you had to burn a DVD and take it up to Harvey and the two other executive producers at the end of the day. And there were so many times where I'd just be like, drop it off and be like, well, that was the last time I worked in this building. You know, like, this is just fucking trash. I'm leaving on their desk. This is just garbage. Like, absolute shit.
Yeah.
But anyway, so I somehow hung in there, and then they hired me as an editor.
Oh, how do you end up on camera on TMZ? Because you were one of those guys, for those that don't know, you're one of like maybe 10 people who are on camera, and it's basically you pitching to Harvey, the host, like what you want to work on, or just jokes, basically.
Yeah, so at first I'm starting editing. They don't even know what the fucking show is. It's in development. The website is successful, and they've thrown money at it to make it a TV show. So every day it's like, okay, this is the show. And then we shoot it and try and edit it. And it's like, that sucks. Let's do something different tomorrow. And it's just, and you know.
It's kind of cool though, right?
It's very cool. Yeah. It's very intense. There's all kinds of technical problems because we moved buildings, changed formats, went over to this like news software for dealing with all the media. Like it's just fucking chaos.
Wow, yeah.
Every day you're working, you know, you get there at like 6 a.m, you leave at like 5 or 6 at night, and you are fucking slamming the entire time. There's no like, oh, you chill for an hour. No, like, you know,
there's no routine yet.
Yeah,
it's just you guys are figuring it out.
Yeah. So and then
so you're like working on tonight's show starting this morning.
So as we get closer and closer, it's like, okay, well, this is going to happen. You know, the summer's going on. In the fall, as this new season starts, this is going to go on the air. And they're like, okay, let's just try and keep it simple. We're just going to do the stories we'll have. We'll have one person tell about the story that happened. We'll intercut a little bit of the video of what happened, and that'll be it. There was no, like, we're going to give our commentary on anything. It was just this person's going to, and then we'll go around the room. We'll have a couple of the main people do that.
Right.
And it was so boring. It was so fucking boring. And you know, it was like they had to get something out, so they just kind of made it simple.
Right.
But Harvey, you could see him losing his fucking mind. Like, he's like, this is my TV show, a slow recap of a website. Like, this fucking sucks.
With commercials in it.
With commercials in between. Yeah, to make it even slower.
You're like, oh, I could have waited for this to download.
So eventually he started just like trying to get people in the newsroom who this was like the first week of the show being on the air. They had some fucking clip about soccer, and they knew I liked soccer, and I happened to be wearing a Mexico t-shirt that day. I had a giant fucking fro and a red headband. Like, you couldn't pick soccer goofball.
Hey, soccer guy.
Yeah.
Right.
Oh, fuck yeah, soccer guy. Come tell us about soccer. And I'm like, okay.
Oh, man.
So I just
that sounds fun.
And I'm not like, I wasn't groomed to be on television for the show.
Right.
I wasn't worried about what their opinion of me was going to be. I was like, fuck it. Yeah, this is kind of fun. This is goofy. This guy's a fucking idiot.
Yeah.
You know, and I'm just being honest about what the clip is, and everybody laughed.
Yeah.
And then that was it.
Yeah.
I was on the show every day for 8 years pretty much after that.
That's awesome, man.
Yeah.
Nice.
And it evolved. Obviously, I mean, Max at the time, the surfer dude, like they really let him lean into his personality of being fucking ridiculous and hung over every morning.
Right, which he was.
He absolutely was. It was all very legitimate,
authentic, organic.
Yeah.
Like, man, you really pull off a hungover guy really well.
Yeah, man, I'm method.
He's like, thanks. Could you not talk so fucking loud?
Yeah. And just like wishing he was at the beach and like kind of angry every day.
Yeah, because he's not surfing.
He's not surfing
if he's doing that show.
Dude, yeah, that sucks for him.
Yeah. And then we got into like just ragging on Harvey and other people in the newsroom when they would take dumb shit and be so serious about it.
Right.
And then it was like, okay, let's fuck around.
Yeah.
Like, we have this actual content, and they definitely were like, the actual content is very important. You don't disrespect the actual content.
Yeah.
I didn't listen to that.
Sure.
But
that's why you got the job. Why would you listen?
Yeah.
You think outside the box.
Yeah.
Like,
outside the headband.
Yeah.
You know?
Soccer guy, dog. What was, while you were there, like, what was one of the, like, biggest, like, stories, like, whoa, like,
Can I guess?
You can guess.
Brittany shaves her head.
I was gonna say
that was
one.
big.
I got another one right
All right.
Brittany shaves her head. David Hasselhoff drunk eating a cheesemburger.
Drunk eating a cheeseburger off the floor was huge.
And I think the biggest one is going to be Tiger Woods.
Okay. Tiger Woods was astronomically huge. See, I didn't have to work in news either. So I came in. I continued to edit the entire time I was on the show. So I had a real gig for them and was, you know, doing...
That's job security right there, baby.
Yeah, right?
Yeah.
So Tiger Woods was massive, and it happened over Thanksgiving weekend, and everybody who worked on the news desk would probably say that was the biggest story because they just fucked their Thanksgiving weekend.
Oh, right.
Like, they're like, oh, you're eating turkey? Get your ass in the office.
Right.
Tiger Woods just slammed his car into a fucking tree.
Yeah.
You're going to find some stories on this shit. So all these people working on the news desk, they were like, we got 4 days. No! Get in the office.
Everybody's walking in with a turkey sandwich.
Yeah. Right.
Motherfucker.
Thanks, Graham. Gotta go.
So that was huge. But I think the biggest was TMZ broke Michael Jackson's dead.
Oh, wow. Before any news organization?
Before any news organization.
Okay.
By like a lot.
Right. Everybody else is doing Farrah Fawcett. And you guys come in with fucking Michael Jackson.
Michael Jackson is dead. And I remember being in the newsroom when TMZ had broken it and like nobody else had run it. LA Times hadn't run it. CNN waited because CNN was like, well, fuck. Like, we're not first, we're not second. Let's see if maybe it's wrong.
Right.
Like, they were like, fuck it, let's play the back end, and then maybe we can be like,
Michael Jackson alive.
Yeah.
You guys can kind of afford to get it wrong.
Well,
maybe, but you knew it was right. You knew it was right.
I mean, I'm not really involved in the process.
Yeah.
But let me tell you, the tension in the newsroom was fucking palpable. Like, if we get this wrong,
right,
boy, people are running with this one.
Yeah. We're the story.
They're playing hits, dude. This is our fault.
Yeah.
That was probably one of the ones my wife was aware of.
Yeah.
Like, she came at me a year after Whitney Houston had died. She just walks in the room. She goes, "Hey, did you hear about Whitney Houston?" I go, "Which part?"
Which part?
She died. I go, "Yeah, like a long time ago."
Oh, really?
Yeah, like she had no idea, dude. She had a job, so she's in the world. It's not like she's out in the country.
Can't keep track of that.
Yeah, she like goes, "Yeah, she died." And I go, "Yeah, dude, like a year ago." She goes, "A year ago?" I go, "Yeah." I go, "Yeah, dude, check in." I go, are you on the internet at all?
That is a lovely thing about not being there now.
That's
it's
true.
Like, oh God, whatever has happened to the Kardashians in the last 5 years, I have no fucking idea.
You don't know.
None.
You'd have to watch one of their 8 television shows to know.
God damn.
So I was working at a post house the day he died. And I was working the second shift, so I got in at like 2 in the afternoon. He died around noon. I get in there and they go, "Somebody's already been by and cleared out all his shit," because we were doing the movie that was supposed to come out, the documentary. This is it.
No shit.
And they
my God.
cleared all that tape out.
Oh my God.
Wow.
That's
crazy.
smart of them.
Yeah.
They're like,
Damn.
"Yeah, so for more money, I think we're doing this documentary somewhere else." No,
Or
but
just securing it, like securing it for the estate.
Hell
and
yeah.
whatever was on that.
hell
raw footage,
yeah.
who knows?
Wow. That's insane.
Did you ever say anything that pissed anybody off, or you like kind of regretted?
Oh man, all the time.
That's awesome.
You're just sitting in a room like this,
I'm just
talking
improvising,
shit,
fucking
but it
around.
goes right out. Like,
Well, it doesn't go straight to the television.
Sure, but
yeah, I mean, Harvey mostly.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, him and I would just battle. You know, I was one of the few people who could hang with him in an argument. But yeah, one time he fucking pissed me off so bad. And this is in front of the entire fucking staff in the reading. And I just go fuck yourself.
You? Nice.
To your boss
To my
on
boss,
television.
to my boss on
Nice.
television in front of the whole staff. And then I was like, well, I gotta storm out now.
Yes.
Fucking better.
I storm out.
And he's not mad, dude. He's like, "That's good TV. That's good TV right there."
But I was like, fuck. I left the office and I was, because like you get a little break after the meeting. So I was like, oh, I'll just stay until the meeting's over and the break's over, and then come back. And I was like, fuck. Am I gonna have a job when I come back? I was nervous.
You had to
like
do the
that.
Costanza. Come back and like
act like nothing happened.
yeah, pretend like it didn't happen.
Like, what are you talking about?
Yeah.
And you were on the Entourage movie on TMZ. Did you tape a mock TMZ and just give it to them, or how did that work?
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. So they had the storyline of what happens in the movie, and I was the guy pitching the story about Johnny Drama, right? That's the story in the movie, and it becomes a TMZ level story, and so then that's the joke. I do a little joke at the top of it, and then boom, and then it cuts back. Yeah.
It made the movie.
It made the movie.
That's
Not
awesome.
only did it make the movie, made the trailer.
Nice.
I had a line in the trailer.
Nice,
and I was
dude.
like, all these comedy legends are just
Sweet.
like, they just show 2 seconds of them, and I got a line. And I was like, yeah, your boy got a line.
That's pretty fucking cool, man.
That's excellent.
I actually secretly love Entourage.
Yeah.
And one of my favorite
sure.
all time, and you would appreciate the character too, is, and there should have been a spinoff, Billy Walsh was like their independent director buddy in that movie.
Yep.
And they nailed that character, dude.
They nailed him.
They nailed the 90s, early 2000 independent film director like no one's done before or after, dude.
Yeah.
Love Billy Walsh.
Did he make pornos in that show?
He did. He did.
He was a director who made secret pornos.
Yeah, that's like kind of what he did.
Apparently,
like,
that's a thing.
Sure, yeah. So
In LA,
they tapped into that
that's
too.
a thing.
But he was like, I'm gonna make the good porno.
Right.
Like I'm gonna make the porno with the story, like fucking,
like they used to.
like in Boogie Nights.
Is his the movie they made that was doing the drug dealer guy?
What do you mean drug dealer guy?
When they did
Pablo Escobar.
Yes.
Yeah, they did Pablo Escobar. That was their big like
Which
Hollywood
was great.
flop. Yeah.
And they were saying how nobody could make a Pablo Escobar
Yeah.
movie, and then maybe 4 years later, like a dozen Pablo Escobar movies.
Yeah.
get made.
What's that show you like?
Narcos.
Narcos nailed it, right?
Dude, beyond.
Vinny Chase didn't, unfortunately. We should go to Eric Wendell, Aaron,
That's too good.
before
That's
he
too
loses it on me.
Oh, right.
I hate scheduling Wendell because if you're late, he gets mad.
He does get mad.
Yeah.
I've been just sitting here waiting.
And then I got a little surprise for you.
All right.
Oh,
Yeah.
Excellent.
Yeah, hopefully he's reviewing Entourage. I put it on last night. I was like, I'm gonna watch a Billy Walsh episode, but I couldn't get through. Like, when they like in the beginning of every episode where it's 4 of them, like doing all the comedic timing stuff. I couldn't make it through that scene. I say that as a fan of Entourage, which like I don't think that show's flying today with all like with all the sex and everything.
Yeah, no.
Yeah, and the way like everyone's just kind of using each other for sex, like it just
And they
they
didn't even-
don't have shows like that anymore, unless it's like a dark comment.
Right.
You know?
And they didn't really do drugs and stuff.
They smoked weed.
little bit,
There
but-
was like some coke. There's a season. It's a really good season actually, where Vinny Chase goes off the rails.
Oh, sure.
Doing coke, and he starts dating an actual porn star played by an actual porn
Oh,
star,
yeah, I
Sasha
remember
Grey.
that. Yeah.
That's a good season.
All that's going to
That
happen.
was a good season.
Yeah. I imagine if you're young and in Hollywood, at some point, all those things are going to happen.
How are you not going to have at least a month while you're addicted to coke?
Yeah. And either you have no friends and you end up Lindsay Lohaning the whole situation,
Yeah.
or one of your friends is like, hey, dog, I think you need to pump the brakes.
Yeah. That's when they have Billy
Yeah.
Walsh come back sober, I think, and
Yeah.
talk Vincent Chase off Cocaine
Yeah, you got to
Mountain.
chill out, dude. Yeah, off of Cocaine Mountain, dude. That's a hill people can ski down real hard and fast. Especially like, I've never done this before. It's like, oh, see you later, dude.
Yeah, but that he only fucked himself when he went to a meeting high on coke, because they like were picking up on it. He was
Yeah,
like,
you're in a room full of people that are like, oh, look at Captain Jonestown over here.
That's what a lot of people don't know about the performer aspect of Hollywood is you have to go into a job interview
Yeah.
all the time. Like people don't realize there's a
Right.
job interview aspect
That shit's
to even
hard.
be an actor. You got to go in there. It's stale.
Yeah.
It's boring.
Yeah.
They've been there for 6 hours already.
Right.
They've seen 40 people. Eric Wendell is with us. Hollywood megastar.
What's
Eric
up?
Wendell.
Hollywood megastar.
Live from Torrance.
That's why I'm coming to you live from a shitty apartment in Torrance.
No,
I'm
the
a
nice,
Hollywood
the
megastar.
nice side of Torrance, ladies and gentlemen, home of the Beach Boys.
That is show business now, is everybody just works from home and does their show from home.
That's right.
I watch a lot of news and cable news, and it's crazy to me how much like just bad audio they have on it, because everybody just zooms in.
Sure.
Of course, we do that on this show too, but you know,
we don't have.
I'm criticizing them, not us.
Yeah, no, I saw some shit like that. It was like a huge, like Biden was trying to redeem himself and prove
Right.
that he could talk normal.
Yeah.
And they go to Carville, and like James Carville, like that's a famous fucking
Yeah.
guy, and it's like,
Yeah.
like, you could get your fucking Zoom right, James
Carville's
Carville.
got terrible fucking problems with his technical equipment because he was on Bill Maher years ago, and he just the interview's over or whatever, but they keep the video on him for some reason.
Oh man!
And he's just walking through his house talking and stuff.
That's too good.
And somehow they kept the video on. I don't know. It sounds like a bit, but it wasn't.
Has anybody let the dogs out recently?
Yeah, that's exactly what it was. Who's fed Chelsea? What's going on?
Fuck, there's no eggs.
Wendell, what's going on with you? What movie are you gonna review for us?
Ooh, I'm just trying to stay cool, man. It's fucking hot down here.
It's so hot.
Down in the devil's anus. Yeah. Sorry.
I watched this crazy 3-episode documentary the other night on Netflix called Dirty Pop.
Okay.
And it was
I don't even care about that band, but I kind of want to watch that.
Right. That's where I was at. I'm like, fuck, I don't give a shit about the Backstreet Boys
at all.
I don't know anything about them except that Justin Timberlake was the lead singer for one of them.
Yes.
And like, I'm like, fuck, dude. I'm like on the fence. I'm like, I look at it, I'm like, oh, it's only 3 episodes. It's a Ponzi scheme.
Yes.
This might be interesting.
I like watching movies where people get fucked over for some reason. I do like watching things like that.
Yeah, because there's always so many red flags, and we've all seen the red flags, and we've all signed bullshit contracts.
Sure.
Like, this will never come back to bite me in the ass.
Sure. Exactly.
On top of that, I will, there's still a video of that night we did together in Irvine like 20 years ago. They just put out a new version of it.
Oh, God.
You know what I mean?
Are you kidding me?
They just keep putting it out. I signed this contract for like $35.
I must not be in that by now.
Well, don't Google yourself.
And
I didn't
you're
Google
right.
myself. It just kind of came up. But I'll watch any VH1 Behind the Music stuff.
Oh,
I don't
yeah.
have to like the band.
I don't either.
And it reminds me before you continue, Wendell. Jason Galern tweeted out one of the funniest things I ever heard about the Bee Gees documentary. He's like, Bee Gees documentary, too much Bee Gees, not enough drugs.
That's awesome. That's so awesome.
So what do we got on this 3-parter, Wendell?
Dude, it was crazy. Like, somehow this guy named Lou Pearlman basically created the Backstreet Boys and NSYNC and O-Town, among a bunch of other bands that I've never fucking heard of. And you would think, how's this possibly a Ponzi scheme? I mean, he's creating huge mega bands, mega stars. Like, should be tons of money to go around, right?
Right.
Nope.
I guess not.
It all goes up top.
Whole life
Next
was
thing
a
you know,
Ponzi
Timberlake's in cornrows trying to make a fucking $100 to pay the phone bill.
Fuck yeah.
I tweeted that out one time, a picture of Timberlake in cornrows, and I wrote, "Never forget."
Yeah,
like
dude.
we cannot ignore this.
That's too good. This happened. That's K-pop. The whole K-pop thing. That's exactly what all those people. They're just locked into these contracts. Yeah, they don't make any money, dude.
Really?
They pay your rent. They give you cars. They take care of everything for you, kind of like those studios used to do.
Right, but your bank account.
But you don't own any of that.
Yeah,
you don't own any of that. And then when you try to get money, they're like, "Oh, dude, we got receipts, dude. All that shit costs money, bro."
Right, and then they'll be like, "Here's your lawyer. He's our lawyer."
He's our lawyer. Exactly. Yeah, and you're like, "Thanks, guys.
Hey, this is working out after all.
I'll sign this too." And they're like, "Cool." And then the devil's
Let me take you out to lunch.
Yeah.
Let me take you to Barney's Beanery.
You're gonna suck my balls in hell.
It's crazy. They figured out, the Backstreet Boys and NSYNC figured out like early on, like, yeah, we're getting $10,000 for a paycheck and we're making millions. Like, something's not right. So they ended up getting lawyers and suing his ass and getting out of their contracts.
But
they were smart.
Did they win anything or
yeah, they got out of their contracts. The main part, the people that got fucked in this was that he was running a Ponzi scheme, and like he would have them show up to different parties and shit around town or wherever, like luncheons.
Sure.
And they'd be like, "Who the fuck are these guys?" And Lou's like, "Yeah, I want you to sing some songs for these guys." And they were like these random investors, and he was taking their money to fund their tours and shit. And it was a Ponzi scheme, and these people never got anything back. They said in the documentary it was the longest running Ponzi scheme in U.S. history. He did this for 30 fucking years.
Better than Bernie Madoff?
No, not as much money as Burning Madoff, but longer running.
Madoff, yeah, my bad.
That's all right. I couldn't let it go twice.
His was a scam, a great scam.
That's just Do you know that one? You know that one?
Yeah,
works?
I watched a documentary on that one. It was pretty amazing. He had. They always talked about the 17th floor. They'd be like, you couldn't go to the 17th floor. Like his sons, when his sons got old enough, they got nosy.
Yeah.
And they were like, well, Dad, the numbers are kind of weird. Like, and hey, I want to go down to the 17th floor. And they'd be like, you don't want to, leave those guys alone. And when you get to the 17th floor, you realize these are all people, no college education. Like, I think one lady, she was a maid or something at one point. And he's like, hey, come work with me. And so they were all like, now they're all living large, like they got good lives. And, these are all people that should be mechanics and garbage men, not to disparage anybody that's a mechanic or a garbage man.
Right.
But they shouldn't be working in Wall Street.
Right.
Finance.
They shouldn't be doing accounting.
For
hundreds of millions of dollars.
And they're really just moving boxes around and kind of hiding stuff that they didn't understand anyway.
They're just doing what they were
So
told.
that's why they worked there.
Right.
Because they didn't even understand what was going on in there. But that's where everything was happening. Was the 17th floor.
Yeah.
So then when the New York people sent people to monitor him.
Yeah.
Oh, he'd come in. Hey, anything you guys want? We'll hook it up. And then when he found out, oh, these guys are kind of dicks. They are coming. Just turn the air conditioning off in that room and just make life.
Yeah.
But then other guys would come in to investigate him, and they'd end up leaving like, oh, thanks, Bernie. Everything looks great.
Right. They wanted it to look great.
And it looks good. Everybody's happy,
Right.
and there's tons of money. But again, that 17th floor, once they dipped into that, the people, then the interview changes. The 17th floor people are like, yeah, so then, everything just kind of got different. Yeah, like everybody, the bubble got burst.
Right.
Hard.
I bet.
And then his family, none of them had any clue.
Yeah, no, but they had his last name and they were associated.
Yeah.
I saw the movie with De Niro and Michelle Pfeiffer.
See, I haven't watched that yet.
The only thing I remember, and I don't know if this is in the documentary or not, because it's so crazy, is they both try to commit suicide on pills.
Yeah.
They took so many pills, like so many downers, sleeping pills. And then they both just woke up the next morning.
Are you
and
kidding
they were
me?
like, what the fuck? What
a bummer.
It just really stands out in my head because they were that night when they took the pills, they were acting like they were dying,
Sure.
Like they're saying all these things to each other and then they just wake up in the morning.
That's a bummer, dude.
Or the afternoon, I suppose.
Yeah. You're like having a nap, you're like, how am I not dead?
You're like, So Wendell, what are you gonna give this movie?
Oh, it was crazy. It's more of a limited series, I guess, than a movie.
My bad.
It's 3 episodes, but, dude, I can't believe it. I'm like, how did you fuck this up, dude? Like, you didn't need a Ponzi scheme. You created
Right.
3 boy bands.
Right.
Yes.
Because he was already ripping those guys off.
Yeah, just because I don't like their music doesn't mean they weren't fucking popular.
They were huge.
Popular as fuck. They made tons of money.
At the same time, Backstreet and NSYNC were big at the same time.
And even if you're just taking 30%.
Well, and it feels like that's the kind of thing that you could right the ship. Like maybe you're scamming people to get this thing off the ground. Like, oh, yeah, I need $100,000 to send these guys to Fort Lauderdale. It really costs $4,000. But fuck it. But then they're touring all over the country. They're making legitimate money. You could just fucking pay it off and just take the real money.
Right.
This guy likes scamming people.
Yeah, that's the thing.
Yep.
I think it's the rush of the scam.
Yeah, definitely is.
Yeah.
Definitely is.
Definitely.
Yeah, that's what I thought. I mean, it was crazy. Like, I mean, yeah, it's just like you said. These guys were hugely popular. Like, he could have fixed it. There was no reason to keep going with this scam. Like, Anyway, there's a lot more to it than what I've talked about.
I'm watching
gotta check
this.
it out.
What do you give it?
It's called Dirty Pop. Something about boy bands or something. Like, it's based on his book too. They use AI to have him like tell some of the story from old VHS videos, so it's really crazy.
He wrote the book about how he scammed
He wrote
everybody?
a book. Yeah, he wrote some book called I forgot the name of it.
Nice.
Boys Billionaire. I don't remember. It's 3 B's.
Boy band billionaire, huh? There it is.
Something like that, yeah.
So he wrote a book about his crime. That's pretty great.
Well, he didn't necessarily talk about. Well, I don't know. I didn't read the book. Maybe he does go into.
Maybe
crime,
he put himself in a good light.
Right.
Yeah.
That makes more sense.
Another
book,
scam.
He's hyping up.
Another scam.
Yeah.
Right.
He's talking about how he created these boy bands and how great he was and whatnot. And he seemed like a really nice guy. It's just really unfortunate that he had to
be a nice guy.
Hey,
no one's gonna take that from an asshole.
Yeah.
What do you give?
Dahmer was a quiet neighbor. So,
exactly.
You know.
What do you give? What do you give this movie or this limited series?
I would say check it out, man. It's I think it was 5 ice cream trucks.
5.
I was blown away.
All right.
I love it.
Wow,
I love a good recommendation.
It's rare to get the 5.
All right, Wendell.
Yeah.
Thanks so much. I hope you have a safe commute to the airport.
Yeah, go Torrance.
I'm off today, buddy. I'm gonna head to Coffee Bean right now.
Oh,
yeah! Enjoy it, baby.
Single, no kids, baby. Make it a large. Shit.
I think I'll make it a large.
Fuck yeah, it's that kind of a day,
I
homeboy.
want it Wendell's way.
Yeah.
All right, Wendell. Peace out, bro.
Peace out, fam.
Peace out, fam.
Peace out.
Aaron, can we get a couple of those pictures I sent you up? I want to show Brian what I brought for him.
All right.
What were you gonna say?
I was gonna say the Dirty Pop is actually a pretty good tie-in because AJ came in to guest host.
Oh yeah,
TMZ from the Backstreet Boys.
And
like everyone on staff was like,
oh yeah.
And I was like, fuck the Backstreet Boys.
Because you were that guy. That was your role. Yeah,
that was my role.
Yeah.
You're like, this ain't Black Sabbath. Don't act like these guys are talented.
Black Sabbath coming in today is Tommy Iommi.
Yeah. It's like, hey, so how many songs did you write? Oh, I didn't actually write songs. Thanks, we're done.
Yeah. Exactly.
Yeah.
I love Wendell sitting at home in Torrance in the heat watching an NSYNC documentary.
That's too funny, dude. That's too funny. And he's just like, how could you sign that? Oh, this contract? Are you kidding me?
No!
The guy's like, I work at McDonald's. I want to sit by this guy's pool.
So me and Brian have this thing where we text each other pictures
of each other,
a certain type of humor that exists on the internet, which is just it's usually women and drinking and holding enormous glasses of wine.
Yeah.
Oh, sure.
That's a brand. That's a brand of humor.
Yeah. I'll just have one glass.
And yeah, Aaron, if you could just show us.
Yeah.
I brought 2 more, and then if we could watch the video I sent too. I'm dying to watch this video.
All right.
It's
a whole genre of comedy. I drink so much wine.
Yeah, like this is how much I like wine. And it's on sandwich boards in New York City, like outside of bars. There you go.
That's a good one.
Yeah. The I'm an alcoholic.
Yeah.
This is the cute phase of alcoholism.
Yeah.
It's not liquor. Everybody still looks like they're in decent shape.
Right. Let's get to the 10 years later shot.
Yeah.
Hey, guys.
Yeah.
Well, this is a forced perspective thing. It's a wine glass close to the camera, lady far away.
Oh, wow.
Hence the giant coasters.
Nice work.
Yeah.
We saw how the grapes are squashed on that one.
I can still see footprints in that.
And I haven't watched this whole video coming up, but I'm dying to watch it with you, Brian.
All right.
Because we got a video. It's more than just
a
still photograph.
I mean, there's whole careers built on this joke.
This is... All right, here we go. Here she goes. Here she goes.
Oh, shit.
Somebody actually went for it. There's always somebody who's going to one-up you.
Yeah. Like, I think I can get a sip out of that.
You got a picture? I'm going to drink the fucking wine. Like, how are you supposed to drink that now?
Seriously. All that's going to go to waste.
The jackass level of that almost, I like it.
Yeah. No, I like it.
Yeah.
I mean, listen, when we first started making fun of this, I was I guess a little bitter. Now I'm just like, it's like, listen, if this is your humor,
right,
I'm in with it. But I'm still gonna text it to Brian.
Right.
Because it never. This is the highest escalation it's ever.
Yeah, this
taken.
is it. This is
it's
a
usually
10.
just pictures, and it's the same joke over and over again. So we have to give it to this woman right here.
Yeah, for sure.
Who just ruined her fucking carpet.
Yeah, without a doubt. Without a doubt. The cameraman's like, God damn it, Cindy. Fuck.
All right, that's going to do it for the Full Charge Power Hour. Brian, thank you so much for coming all the way out here and entertaining us. And patreon.com/The Full Charge. Give us a little bit of dough, and we'll be here next week as well.
And watch the YouTube and hit that like.
Yeah, get on the YouTube.
Fucking subscribe.
Take a risk. Take a risk, man.
Why not?
You can always unsubscribe later.
Right, dude.
But I would stay subscribed if I was you.
Yeah.
All right, we'll see you later.